Hey there, I'm Carson Jackson.
And I'm Ethan Ring.
And you're watching the JCNS-TV News. On today's show, we feature our Rotary Student of the Month, Key Club's next project in our weekly holiday show.
Congratulations to Kylie Zimber as our November Rotary Student of the Month.
I feel very honored to be picked as November Rotary Student of the Month. Thank you to all the teachers who voted for me and picked me to have this honor. I chose Mr. Bowles to be my most influential teacher because he always encourages me and pushes me to do my best and solve problems that I don't have a clue where to even start. He's helped me grow and become a better person throughout these past 2 years that I've had him, and he's my favorite teacher.
Yearbooks are now on sale for $75. Get yours now before the price goes up.
Students in AP classes who have not yet registered for their AP exams can still do so by November 14th. A $40 late fee will be added. That's this Thursday.
Reminder that FFA is doing their annual fall fruit sale. You have until Friday, November 15th to place an order.
There will be an informational meeting about IB for parents and students on November 20th at 6 p.m. in the JCNS Media Center.
We'll be right back after this.
Here's the story of an AV classroom that teaches how to edit and record. It's taught by a real nice cool lady who's a boomer and doesn't get our jokes. Here's the story of the stupid Zoomers who are cringe and take the AV class. But it's okay, cause we always have a laugh and make our videos really bad. Till the one day the boomer gave a project to recreate the Brady Bunch scheme. Then the AV class all came together to make the AV Bunch theme song. The AV Bunch, the AV Bunch. That's the way we became the AV Bunch.
Key Club's next project is supporting the Georgia Sheriff's youth homes who take in abused and abandoned children. Jackson County Sheriff Janice Mangum tells us a little about this project.
If you've never heard of the Georgia Sheriff Youth Homes, they take in abused and abandoned children. Not delinquent children who have been in trouble, but abused or abandoned children. So back in the late 1950s and almost 1960, the sheriffs then saw a need for children who, no choice of their own, had a bad life and had nobody to raise them, needed somebody to help them. So that's when they started the Georgia Sheriff's Youth Homes Boys Ranch. This past year I was president of the Georgia Sheriff Youth Homes, and as a second-term sheriff and only the second female sheriff in Georgia, it was such an honor for me to be the president of the Georgia Sheriff Youth Homes because those children are near and dear to my heart. They go to regular school like you do. They live in homes with house parents, but they have a loving, nurturing environment by house parents that show them that even though they had to leave their families, there's somebody that loves them. And as a sheriff, I love them. I don't know them all, but I love them all. They have a special place in my heart. I never had to worry when I was young if my mom and daddy loved me or if I had a home. I had that. A lot of children don't. So I was very honored to serve as president of the Georgia Sheriff Youth Homes. They all have a story, some of them pretty bad, stories that I would never want to imagine. But I'm thankful as the sheriff that I can support them by doing 2 fundraisers a year. And I'm thankful for the other sheriffs that do that. There's a lot of money raised for this reason, because we want to be able to pay for their college and help them get through that if that's what they choose to do. And they get a lot of support from people in their communities. I wish I lived closer, because I'm 2 hours from either Dalton or LaGrange. That's the closest I am to them. But I always try to go to support those kids, because they're just so humble to have faced the adversity they faced in their life. They're humble, because sometimes we take for granted a good home and good parents and growing up where you don't have to worry about whether you're loved or not.
Next up features a tour of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Carson Jackson.
What's up, guys? I'm in Cleveland, Ohio right now at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everyone's just out having a good time, and today I'm just going to be exploring it, and we're going to do some commentary on it. And yeah, let's get to it. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is located in Cleveland, Ohio, and happens to be right next to the Cleveland Browns Stadium.
You are a factory of sadness!
Anyways, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is reserved for artists that have had an extreme influence on music. That's why I wonder how Pearl Jam made it in and not the Smashing Pumpkins, but I digress. The hall tells the extensive history of rock as a genre, from Torgans and the blues to the heavy rockers and all the way to modern day pop. Every era of music in the 20th century is represented in the Hall of Fame, so there's something for everybody. They have exhibits for specific bands and artists that show off relics of their iconic careers. And for some of the bigger names in music, they have entire sections dedicated to them. The Rolling Stones and the Beatles get the most room space for their role in shaping the history of music. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, even has his own exhibit. They even have an entire floor for musicians just to mess around in. You could play the guitar or play the drums for the first time like me. On the music floor, they even have an exhibit dedicated to the current nominees this year, including Def Leppard, The Cure, and Radiohead. They don't call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for nothing, though. On the third floor, it has the names of every single musician inducted into the Hall of Fame, with so many great and influential artists being recognized for their role in shaping music. And now for the sports.
I'm Zoe Watford, and this is the sports. Friday night, our varsity football team won their 3rd shutout of the season against rivals East Jackson. They ended their season with a school record. On Saturday, our men's Panther wrestling team starts off the year with a big win at the Panther Scramble, and 8 of our ladies from the wrestling team finished at the top 4 at Alexander. First place, Montgomery Garland. Second place, Bria Lumley, Raven Cook, Donasia Burke, and Maya Phillips. Third place, Tara Moose and Claire Avery, and 4th place, Lily Travis. Good job, Panthers. On Thursday, our basketball team will travel to North Hall for their first game of the season. It's state week for competition cheer. They will have a state showcase Thursday after school. Go see their routine and send them off to Columbus on Friday. This weekend, our swim team will be at Jonesboro High School, while our wrestling team will host a Big Red Rumble against Gainesville at home. Good luck, Panthers. I'm Zoe Watford, your JCNS-TV news sports anchor.
Well, that's all for this week's show. I'm Carson Jackson.
And I'm Ethan Ring.
And remember, stay cool.